Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, today we're getting right into the nuts and bolts of RC cars.
Yes, specifically brushed motors.
Right, comparing two really common Tamiya sizes,
Yeah.
the little 380 and the standard 540.
We've pulled together a bunch of stuff, manufacturer specs, forum chatter, shop listings, user reviews.
And the mission really is to cut through all that technical detail and figure out which one actually performs better and why. What gives you the edge?
Exactly. It's not just about the numbers on the page. We want to know what they mean when the car is actually running.
So the big question we're tackling, can a properly tuned, smaller 380 motor actually keep up with or even beat a standard 540 in a real race situation,
Correct.
especially thinking about sustained performance?
That's the core of it. Let's maybe start with the baseline, the Tamiya 380S Silver Can, the standard one.
Okay, yeah. That's the motor you often found in layer buggies, right? Like the holiday buggy, Sand Rover,
Yeah.
beginner stuff sometimes.
Typically, yeah. And you might just think, oh, that's the slow one. But interestingly, Tamiya themselves even suggested it could be good for endurance racing or tracks needing, precise handling, so not just automatically slow.
Okay. So what are the specs? What's under the hood there?
We're looking at maybe around 15,000 RPM at 7.2 volts. That's revolutions per minute, the speed.
Okay.
And the torque, that twisting force, is estimated around 8 millinewton meters, probably rated at 6 volts originally, plus it's light, about 70 grams.
70 grams, wow. So lighter weight, potentially better battery life, longer run times maybe?
Could be, but the trade-off is clear.
Yeah.
Lower RPM, lower torque, you'd probably need to gear it differently.
Right, so it might feel smoother, maybe easier to handle for a beginner, but you don't get that instant oomph.
Exactly. Now, what if you step it up to the Tamiya 380 Sport tuned?
Ah, the upgrade path. This one fits some specific chassis, right? Like the RM01.
Yeah, RM01 TA05 M4. It's meant as a direct performance boost for those.
So how much faster are we talking?
Significantly faster in terms of RPM. We're looking at nearly 25,000 RPM at 7.2 volts, no load. That's a big jump.
Wow, okay. And torque?
Torque goes up too, to about 12.6 millinewton meters maximum. Still less than a 540 though.
Right. So what does that mean on track?
Well, it's interesting. Some people report it can actually hit a higher top speed than a standard 540 in the right car.
Really? Higher top speed from the smaller motor?
Potentially, yeah, because the RPM is so much higher. But because the torque is still lower than the 540, getting up to that speed, the acceleration might feel a bit softer.
So it's a trade-off. You're swapping some initial grunt for potential top-end speed, especially if the car is light.
Precisely. It shines in lightweight chassis where maybe high RPM is more valuable than sheer pulling power.
Okay, that makes sense. Now let's look at the big guy, the Tamiya 540J or N Silver Can, the one everyone knows.
Yeah, this is the benchmark. Pretty much standard issue in almost every 110 scale kit for ages.
So what are its numbers? Let's take the 540N for comparison.
Okay, the 540N gives you about 13,800 RPM at 7.2 volts. So actually lower RPM than the standard 380S technically.
Huh, lower RPM, interesting.
But, and this is the key, way more torque. We're talking 27.7 millinewton meters, more than double the Sport Tune 380.
Ah, okay. That's where the power feeling comes from. And the weight.
Heavier, definitely. Around 165 grams. Compared to, 70 for the standard 380, maybe 100 for the Sport Tuned?
So yeah, you're saving roughly 100 grams, give or take, going with a 380. That's actually quite a bit in an RC car.
It really is. And that lower weight, it has knock-on effects, right?
Like what? Better handling.
Absolutely. Better power-to-weight ratio overall, so potentially quicker acceleration, even with less motor torque sometimes. Sharper braking makes the car feel more agile, more nimble, especially noticeable in lighter cars.
Okay, so that brings us back to the main question. Can that tuned 380 with its high RPM and weight advantage actually be faster than the standard torquey 540 over a full race distance? It feels counterintuitive.
It does, but this is where sustained performance gets interesting. It's not impossible.
Okay, how?
Several things need to line up. You probably need that lightweight chassis we mentioned. A technical track, maybe, where handling and agility matter more than brute, straight-line speed.
Makes sense.
Gearing has to be absolutely spot on for the 380. And cooling becomes really important, keeping that smaller motor from overheating when it's working hard.
Ah, heat. Wouldn't the bigger 540 handle heat better? More metal to soak it up?
It has more thermal mass, yes. But heat generation really depends on the load, how hard the motor is actually working relative to its capability.
So a lighter car puts less overall strain on the 380.
Potentially, yeah. If the lighter car means the 380 is operating at a lower average percentage of its maximum output compared to a 540 in a heavier car, it might actually run cooler, or at least manage its heat better over a run.
Hmm. And what about battery life? Voltage sag.
That's another factor. The spec suggests the 380 Sport Tuned draws less current under load, maybe around 2 amps, whereas 540s can pull, 8, 10, 12 amps or more.
Oh, wow, big difference.
Right, so lower current draw could mean longer runtime, less strain on the battery, and potentially less voltage sag, that temporary drop in power when you punch the throttle.
So over a 5-minute race, the 380 might maintain its performance level more consistently because it's sipping power compared to the 540 guzzling it.
That's the theory. Both motors can suffer from heat fade, where performance drops as they get hot. But maybe, just maybe, the tuned 380 in a light, well-geared car maintains its efficiency and performance better throughout the run.
So the hypothesis is plausible then. Tune 380 faster than standard 540 over a race.
Plausible, yes. But definitely not a universal thing. It's highly dependent on those specific conditions. Lightweight car, technical track, perfect setup, maybe even a smooth driving style. It's leveraging that weight advantage for handling and potentially better sustained efficiency.
Okay, I think I get it. So the main takeaway isn't just smaller is secretly better, it's more nuanced.
Exactly. Tuned 380s can really shine, but in their specific niche, that weight saving is key for handling, and in the right setup, they might hold performance better over time.
But for heavier cars or tracks where you just need raw power and torque.
The standard 540 is still probably the go-to choice. It's the reliable workhorse for a reason.
Right. Okay. Fascinating stuff. So here's something maybe for you listening to chew on.
Yeah.
How much could the specific nature of your car and where you actually drive it most influence this? Could that seemingly weaker 380 motor actually be the smarter, maybe even more fun choice for your specific situation?
It's worth thinking about what other hidden advantages pop up when you really dig into the specs beyond just the headline RPM and torque.
Definitely food for thought. Well, that's all the time we have for this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring.